In a shocking turn of events in the Chinese entertainment world, two of the country's biggest superstars, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, reportedly left the stage abruptly in an emotional state after experiencing an embarrassing incident related to their costumes at a prestigious event. Is this the end of their illustrious careers? The incident that occurred behind the scenes of the national television show has now become a hot topic of discussion across Chinese and international social media. Thousands of fans present at the filming location reported witnessing the two actors exiting the backstage area with flushed faces and appearing extremely angry. However, what exactly happened behind the scenes that caused these two top-tier stars to lose control of their emotions? An exclusive source from within the production team revealed shocking details that had never been heard before. It turns out that the chaos began due to a fatal mistake by the costume team, who prepared outfits that were completely ill-fitting for both artists. Even more shocking, when the sizing issue was detected, the solution offered only made the situation more chaotic and embarrassing for Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. The tense moments behind the scenes that changed everything. According to exclusive testimonies from the crew on site, the drama began around 2:30 p.m. local time when Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan arrived at the dressing room for their performance preparations. The two artists, known for their professionalism and rarely showing negative emotions in public, initially appeared relaxed and joking with their team. However, the atmosphere changed drastically when the assistant costume designer approached them with a pale face. "Sorry, there's a problem with your costumes," the assistant said with a trembling voice. It turned out there was a fatal miscommunication between the production team and the costume department. The costume prepared specifically for Wang Yibo was too small, while Xiao Zhan's costume was too large. What made the situation even more complicated was the fact that this wasn't just a simple sizing issue. The costumes were custom-made for the special segment of the show, with highly detailed designs that couldn't be altered on short notice. The costume team panicked because the show was set to begin in less than an hour, and there were no backup costumes available, an anonymous source revealed. Wang Yibo tried to force himself into the costume, but it simply didn't fit. The back of his shirt even tore when he tried to put it on. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan looked like a child wearing his father's clothes because the costume was too loose. The controversial decision that sparked massive anger in this emergency situation. The costume supervisor made a decision that became the main trigger for the anger of both artists. Instead of seeking an alternative solution or postponing the segment, the supervisor suggested that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan swap their costumes. "Maybe if they swap, the size might fit better," the supervisor said without considering the implications of his suggestion. This proposal was met with disbelief from both artists. Wang Yibo, known for his assertive personality, shook his head firmly. "This doesn't make sense," he said, his voice rising in tone. Meanwhile, Xiao Zhan, though usually more composed, clearly felt uncomfortable with the idea. What made the situation even more tense was when the costume supervisor began to pressure them, citing the urgent deadline. "You need to be ready soon. The audience is already waiting in the studio," he said, trying to convince the two artists to accept the solution. However, this pressure only made Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan angrier. A makeup artist who witnessed the incident revealed, they both looked very frustrated. Wang Yibo even said, "This isn't about the costume, it's about professionalism." He was very angry because he felt the production team didn't respect them as professional artists. The surprising climax that shocked everyone, the climax of the drama, occurred when the assistant director intervened to resolve the issue. In a somewhat forceful tone, he said to Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, "You have to be professional. This is just a costume issue, not a big deal. The audience won't notice the difference." This comment finally pushed the two artists over the edge. Wang Yibo, who had always been known for maintaining his professional image, suddenly stood up and shouted, "If this isn't important, why don't you change costumes with us?" What made the situation even more explosive was when the costume supervisor tried to force them by saying that their contract required them to follow all production instructions. This comment really made Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan lose their patience. That's when they both stood up together, grabbed their bags and walked out without saying another word, recounted a production staff member who witnessed the incident. The entire room fell silent. No one expected Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, who had always been so professional, to react that way. Shocking reaction from the production team and management. The sudden departure of the two superstars immediately caused panic throughout the production team. The show's producer, who was in the control room, immediately went backstage upon hearing that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan had left the location. He looked very panicked and immediately called the managers of both artists, revealed a cameraman. What made the situation even more chaotic was the fact that the segment featuring Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan was the main highlight of the show. They were scheduled to perform a highly anticipated duet song, and the show's promotions had even highlighted their names as the main selling point. The management teams of both artists, who were contacted immediately, were also reported to be very surprised by the incident. Wang Yibo's manager reportedly rushed to the filming location, while Xiao Zhan's team held an emergency conference call to discuss the unexpected situation. An insider from the management revealed, "This is the first time in their careers that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan have walked out like this. They are usually very professional and always try to resolve issues properly. There must be something that truly made them very angry." What was even more surprising was the reaction of the show's director, who reportedly immediately contacted the television station to report the incident. He looked very stressed and kept saying that this could damage the reputation of the show and the TV station, said a crew member. The shocking direct impact on the entertainment industry news of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan's walkout spread like wildfire in China's entertainment industry. Within minutes of the incident, internal chat groups of various agencies were flooded with speculation and rumors about what had actually happened. What made the news even more viral was the fact that both artists have a very large and loyal fan base. Fans of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan on social media immediately created the trending topic #WhatHappenedToWangYibo-Xiao-Zhan, which reached tens of millions of interactions within hours. Several other celebrities who have good relationships with Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan also began to post subtle comments on their social media accounts. Although they did not directly mention the incident, their posts containing words of support for friends in the industry who are facing difficult situations were immediately interpreted by netizens as support for the two artists. China's entertainment industry, which typically prioritizes maintaining its image and rarely experiences public dramas like this, was immediately abuzz with speculation about the long-term impact of the incident. Some brands with endorsement contracts with Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan reportedly held emergency meetings to discuss potential risks to their campaigns. What was even more surprising was the reaction from the two artists' competitors, who tried to take advantage of the situation. Several other artists reportedly contacted the show's production team, offering to replace Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan's segments, despite the very short preparation time. In-depth investigation. Who is actually responsible? After the shocking incident, various parties began conducting internal investigations to find out who was actually responsible for the chaos. The show's production team immediately formed an emergency investigation committee tasked with tracing the chronology of errors that led to the costume issue.